Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations with Sakina. In this tarot pick-a-card, you will be receiving directional guidance from 4 different spirit animals. So take a look at the photos on the screen and choose the animal that appeals most to you. Timestamps are in the description box below. Enjoy the reading. Hello Pile 1. So we're going to start out by pulling 4 cards for each of the directions, and then we'll see what spirit animals come with that. And the spirit animal, just for understanding purposes, the spirit animal is an animal that you see just at random, or something about that animal. Maybe you see them on television, maybe you see them in real life, maybe you see them in a zoo, maybe you see them in a magazine or a book, something like that. But it's not something that you call into yourself or that you call upon for help. So we're going to start with East, which is the mental aspect of your existence. So we have the Page of Swords here. So let's see what we have for your spirit animal to go along with this Page of Swords. You have the Swan. So in the East here, we have the mental part of yourself, your mind. And with the Page of Swords, the Page of Swords is saying to you that when we were children, we had all kinds of dreams. And we thought about what our lives would be like when we grew up and what kind of adventures we would have. And some of us had very strongly formed opinions of exactly how life was going to be. So this Page of Swords is asking you right now, do any of the things that you remember wanting to be or wanting to do fill you with the feeling of, I really want to do that now? Because a lot of times what we think about in our younger years ends up being what we do for a living as an adult, or at least doing some kind of hobby at that point. And along with considering what you as a child wanted to do or considered doing or dreamed about doing, we have the Swan. And this Swan is heightened creativity. This is the creature, the bird, that wants to help you write, help you create, help you reflect. So if you dreamt about writing a book as a child, the Swan is there for you. If you have dreamt about creating, I don't know, a business, creating a sculpture, create anything that requires creating of any kind, which is pretty much most everything, the Swan is the animal that you call on. This is your spirit animal. This is the one that will show up when it's time for you to really start thinking about what you truly wish to do. This is a part of the soul purpose that this Swan is very much aware of, a part of your soul purpose. And when it's time to start reaching out for that soul purpose, for really finding that path, you will see signs of the Swan without even asking. So again, this could be in a book. It could be in real life at a body of water. It could be on the television screen. It could be in a commercial. It could be just the word Swan or somebody mentioning the word Swan. Any of these things are meant to call your attention to this mental part of you. The point of the Swan is to stop you and to make you listen to yourself, to that inner voice that is calling you to what your soul purpose is, what you thought about as a child. And again, most of the time, what you enjoyed doing as a child is what is part of that soul purpose. It's part of what you should be doing. So this is the east direction for you, pile 1. So now we're going to look into the west, which is the emotional side of self. And we have strength. I think I'll move this in just a titch. Okay, so the beaver is the card that comes with strength. Now, the emotional side of self is about the dream world. It's about your subconscious. It's about the spirit world. It's about your inner intuition. And sometimes confronting those things, as the strength card will show, confronting those things isn't the easiest thing to do. We have a little mouse here who sees that the cat is stuck. But what's going to happen to that little mouse if he helps release the cat? He doesn't know, any more than when you're having, say, a dream, and it maybe is a scary dream. In the dream, everything seems very, very real. But when you awaken, you know that you've had a dream. But still, if you're remembering all the details, it can still be a very scary scenario, and it's very difficult to wash from your mind. It's very difficult to let the emotion go that involved. Same with if you have a physical ailment or a physical addiction. That's usually caused by some kind of past life scenario. And if you have the strength to dig into it a little bit, you may find that there really is no reason to hang on to that. But sometimes the digging into it, doing, for instance, a past life regression, can be very terrifying. You need to have strength to heal. Sometimes if you're doing, say, shadow work, you may not like what comes forth. You may not be ready for what comes forth, but you wouldn't be doing the shadow work if you weren't ready. You wouldn't have thought to do it if you weren't ready. So the strength card is truly about moving on from the things that we're afraid of, letting them go. And this is the emotional side of you to create a healthy, happy individual. We're looking into our soul purpose through our childhood, and now we're looking into our fears. So when you find yourself in this kind of position, when you find yourself afraid, when you find yourself looking into your shadow self, or you find yourself having nightmares, anything like that we've just discussed, the beaver is what will come forward if this is something you really need to work on, what you really need to understand. And again, like the swan, this beaver will come forward. You may see one crossing the road. You may see, again, a billboard sign with a beaver on it. You may hear the word beaver on the radio. Wherever it comes from, that's calling your attention to the emotional side of self, to this strength, to look into it. And the beaver is saying it's not going to be an easy task. It's going to take some time to find that strength and to straighten out whatever emotional situation that you are dealing with. But the beaver does not give up. The beaver works hard and steady for however long it takes, and no matter how hard the effort. Okay, so let us move on to the direction of north, which is the direction of the physical. And we have the Five of Swords. And joining with that Five of Swords is the butterfly. So in this physical realm, when you were born, there are things, challenges that you definitely have to face. I mean, it happens to everyone in this physical realm. And these challenges are necessary for growth and for transformation, to allow you to understand what this physical quest is about, and also so that your soul has the opportunity to grow. And of course, this includes not just pain in the physical realm. It can also be mental anguish. It can be emotional anguish. In the physical, it covers pretty much anything. It can be spiritual anguish. Whatever it is, it can be very, very painful and difficult to deal with. And you may find yourself saying, why? Why? Well, the butterfly is saying, again, that this is about transformation. It is about changing and evolving, which is necessary for soul growth. So when you find yourself in a difficult situation, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, when you find yourself in that kind of a situation, look for the butterfly. And even in the wintertime, when the butterflies are not out, you may find that butterfly again on a television screen, on a postcard, on the cover of a book, something that you're looking at on social media, wherever that butterfly comes to you. Now, you're not looking for it, but when you see it, it should spark the understanding of what's going on in your life. And at that point, you can begin to work with the butterfly and to understand that, okay, what I'm going through right now, it's not going to last forever. It is a change, it's a transformation. It's something I need to go through because it is for my soul growth. And the butterfly also asks you to be patient with the process. This is important as well. Some of these challenges are very difficult to move through, and you need to have the patience as you are working through a little at a time and wrapping your mind around what all this means. So last but not least, we have the spiritual realm here, or the spiritual in the south. And we have the Ten of Cups. Working alongside the Ten of Cups, is the hummingbird. Ten of Cups is a happy card. It is the emotional space that makes you feel like you can just go, I've made it. On the flip side of this Ten of Cups, you will go back to the Ace of Cups, which is a whole new beginning, a whole new emotional beginning. It's going to be a cycle, round and round and round. And you'll have situations throughout. You'll have growth, you'll have disruptions, you'll have challenges, you'll have mastery, you'll have so many things in between that Ace and that 10. But you will always come back to this 10 and that feeling of elation that says, I've done it, I've made it, and be able to revel in that for however long before you go back around to the Ace of Cups. And it is this elation, this feeling that goes so very well with the hummingbird, where the hummingbird, when you see indication of the hummingbird, you know that, number one, you may be coming close to the end of something, may be feeling that, but also you'll be feeling, as the hummingbird does, it's a very positive energy. And this is also, the hummingbird is also calling you to perhaps begin exploring more of your spirituality, more of yourself. Start looking at life as sweet and something worth savoring. Don't rush through life. I know the hummingbird is very, very swift, but they take a moment. They actually do stop and land most of the time on the hummingbird feeder, and they will dip their beak in over and over and over again until they feel fulfilled, but they will savor that flavor. And then they will go off. They will use that energy that they have just brought into their body, and they'll go off and they'll use that energy in whatever way that is necessary. But they're very, very energetic birds, and life is a joy. You can just see it in a hummingbird, how joyful life is. So this is your spiritual nature, is joy, happiness, fulfillment. So when you're striving for that, or you're feeling that, you're feeling a very happy emotion for some reason, like the moment is perfect, be aware when a hummingbird comes forward. And if a hummingbird comes forward before you're feeling that emotion, know that they are preparing you for what's to come. So pile one, there are your supportive spirit animals for each of the directions of life. Until next time, take care. Hello, pile two. We are going to begin this directional guidance from your spirit animals by looking into the East, which is your mental portion of life. So we have the Five of Pentacles. And the spirit animal that is going to support this Five of Pentacles, or this mental portion of life, is the butterfly. So the Five of Pentacles is sharing here that you may be looking around yourself, looking at your life and comparing your life to other people's lives and thinking to yourself, why is it that they have so much more than I do, or their life seems so much happier than mine? What is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? And can I become a part of that lifestyle? Well, what this card is sharing is if that door doesn't open easily for you, it isn't meant for you. There's no reason to scratch on it because it is not going to open. You're not meant to be there. So the butterfly is saying here that transforming your thinking, looking at your own life and working with what you see coming into your own life or what you yourself have and being thankful for what you currently have is going to create the transformation that you're looking for. It requires patience, obviously, which is what the butterfly is sharing as well. It's a patience game. But if you continuously look or try to experience something that you're not ready for, that the universe says, not yet, if ever, if you're trying to force something to happen, then you're going to spend a lot of time wasting your time. So the best practice here is to focus on where you are right now and what you can create from where you are right now. That is what is going to create transformation for you. So when you find yourself up against a door that you just can't seem to open, the butterfly is going to come and remind you that transformation doesn't happen this way. Patience is what's needed. So look for that butterfly, and it doesn't have to be a living, breathing butterfly. It can be a picture. It can be a show on television that has butterflies. It can be a tattoo. It can be anything where a butterfly catches your attention. When you see it, look for another door, one that will open easily for you. So next we're going west to the emotional side of self. And here we have the devil, and the corresponding card or animal is the fish. So what the devil is saying here is that you have created the world that you are currently living. Every decision that you have made up to this point, whether it is good or whether it's bad, this is what you have created for yourself. And emotionally, this can be a very difficult realization. Depending on how you see your life, you could be filled with a lot of anger and a lot of shame and maybe even guilt. The devil card holds the space for all the things that you're not proud of, all the things that actually take you away from the light. These things are where you have actually gotten yourself tied, so it's very difficult to let go of in the emotional realm, in the emotional part of self. And it happens to all of us. Just as sometimes you need to look for a different door, one that will open, you also need to realize that life is about mistakes. Life is about moving forward, not getting stuck, not getting shackled to anything that you know is not good for you. And interestingly, the spirit animal that came forth for this is the fish. And the fish is a water creature, which emotions are based on water, flow, being able to move through things that make you uncomfortable. The fish is all about movement. It really never stops moving. When it is swimming or even holding still in the water, the tail is moving, the fins are moving, the mouth may be moving. They travel the river, they go where they go. They know that there's endless possibilities through that river. Wherever they go, they're going to encounter something new. However, there does come a time when movement or moving too much becomes a trap as well. And you can become very, very weary with that kind of a lifestyle. So the fish When you see the fish, it is a reminder for you to check your emotions for a little bit. Check your emotions and determine if where you're at right now, do you have clear goals? Do you know what it is that you would like to accomplish, or are you swimming blind? Take a look at your intentions. Same thing. Are your intentions clear? Or again, are you swimming blind? So you will, when you see the fish, again, maybe it's a Pisces sign, maybe, and always something you're not really looking for. But be aware that the fish is trying to share with you, you are not clear with what you are doing. You're just moving forward for the sake of moving forward. You need to stop and make the reason you're moving forward very, very clear. Make your intentions clear. And what this will do is keep your emotions flowing, keep this part of yourself flowing and unstuck. The well is deep, but it does not serve you if the water is stagnant. So yes, move forward, but don't do it so quickly that you don't know why you're doing it, is what the fish has to share. So next we're going to the physical, the direction of north. And we have the Three of Cups. With the spirit animal, the eagle. So the Three of Cups, this is a card of spending time with other people, enjoying time with other people. It's not all about work. The physical life should never be all about work. It needs to have some enjoyment to it as well, is what this Three of Cups is sharing. And when the eagle appears, the eagle is sharing that if you have not been gathering together with those you enjoy spending time with, if you don't have some kind of social life other than on the computer with social media, you need to do so. Because the eagle is there to say you need to shine. It is time for you to bring your best and brightest self out in the open for everybody to see. And if you're a little bit shy about doing this, the eagle is giving you strength. This is important. This eagle, and again, you can see this eagle for real in the sky, or you can see an emblem of an eagle, or you can hear the word eagle, or you can hear a song by the Eagles on the radio. Wherever this comes forward, know that this eagle is telling you on a physical aspect, you need to get out there and enjoy yourself a little bit and to spend time with people that make you feel good and that you can give the same back. This kind of socializing is extremely important in the aspects of life. It isn't all about work. Your soul grows as well through camaraderie. So last but not least, we're looking into the spiritual side of things. And we have the Hanged Cat. And we have the spirit animal of the bear. So when we are thinking about the spiritual side of things, this is taking a look at, for instance, your inner child, whatever sparks life for you. And the Hanged Cat is saying maybe it's time to gain a new perspective on this. It's asking you to allow yourself to feel instead of think. And sometimes you need to go the other direction as well. So this is a card of surrendering to whatever comes your way. Allowing things to happen. If you try the emotional aspect of things and that doesn't work, go upside down. Try the logic part of things. And if that doesn't work, try putting the two together and see what that does for you. Your inner child has a unique knack. If you've thought about children, or if you have children, you know how quickly their attention changes or their opinion changes, how quickly they can take on another's viewpoint just by saying, hey, how about this? And they'll say, yeah, because they can automatically see the possibilities in that change of perspective. It doesn't mean they've completely forgotten their own. However, this new perspective is also very exciting. And spiritually, you really never want to get stagnant. As a spirit animal, the bear is one that you will see when it's time to, when your soul is calling you to a spiritual transformation. So in other words, as we go through life, our spiritual selves don't just grab a hold of something, or shouldn't just grab a hold of an idea or a belief and hang on for dear life. Sometimes it really is necessary to have that different perspective, or to surrender and allow what's going to come forward to come forward. And the bear is going to share that sentiment. This bear is saying a spiritual quest might be in order. It may be time for that. And that spiritual quest might take a while, and that's okay too. And it might have what seems like impossible odds or obstacles that you just really not sure you can go around or go over or go through. But that's part of the transformation. The bear is telling you it's not time to sleep anymore. You need to surrender, turn your perspective upside down, and begin moving. No matter how challenging it may seem, you can't stay asleep during any part of this spiritual enlightenment. This is important. So whenever you see the bear, realize that the bear is waking you up and saying, get going. I know, it takes a little bit to rev the engine, but get going. You can do this, but you don't have a choice here. It's time to change again. So there we have all of the spirit animals that will come forward for you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Anytime that there's something within those directions, north, south, east, west, or anytime within this life makeup that you need to pay attention to something specific. So that's what we have, pile 2. Until next time, take care. Hello, pile 3. We are going to take a look to see what cards we have for directional guidance here, and what spirit animals will be coming forth for you. So we're going to begin with the direction of east, which is the mental portion of life. We have judgment. And the spirit animal that will come alongside judgment for you is the tiger. So with the judgment card, this is the card that says you've been thinking about perhaps shedding your skin, doing something completely different. You've been thinking about this, and in your mind it seems like a really good idea because you think it's time. It is time to awaken and to really shed your skin and to determine what it is you're here to do. What is it that you're being called to do? It may be, as you see on the card, a cat would normally chase rabbits. But are you being called to befriend rabbits? Join rabbits? Or the opposite can be there as well. Are you being called to away from the rabbit community, to begin something completely different, something that will serve you even better than what you're previously doing or than what you're currently doing? And when the tiger comes forth for you as the spirit animal, and this is to say that the spirit animal is going to surprise you. It'll be something that you see perhaps on a billboard. It will be something that you see in a store window. It will be the word tiger that you hear on the radio. This can come forward to you in many different ways, this spirit animal. Obviously, chances are you're not going to see a tiger for real in the wild, unless you live in an area where tigers can be there. But this tiger is saying you need to become one with yourself. You need to create a silence. Instead of mentally trying to control everything, you need to be mentally quiet and not be afraid of that quiet. Because when you are silent, this tiger is saying, when you are silent, you're awakening your own power. And it's the awakening that we're looking for. But that awakening cannot happen if you cannot silence your mind. So now we're going into the West, to the emotional side of self. And we have the Nine of Pentacles and the butterfly. And the Nine of Pentacles is saying that on a physical level, you pretty much have everything that you want. Life is beautiful. But what about emotionally? This particular life quest that you have been on has brought you all the necessary physical things. But the butterfly is saying it is time to start paying attention to your dreams, your subconscious, the spirit world, not just everything in the physical. A transformation needs to take place here, and that's what the butterfly is all about. You need to open up your possibilities. You need to come out of your cocoon, your material cocoon. Open up your emotions, which opens up your intuition, which opens up your dreams and your subconscious. Everything is all tied together in the emotional realm of life. And this butterfly is saying we need to transform. If we're going to awaken, we need to transform. We need to be silent enough to be able to hear whatever our emotional self, our intuition, our higher self is trying to share with us. And it requires patience and some practice. A butterfly may know exactly how to fly, but they cannot fly when they come out of the cocoon until they dry their wings, which might take a little while. So they have to have patience as they slowly open and close their wings to allow the air to dry them. So this butterfly is saying it's time to open up a whole new emotional avenue. Don't put aside the material, because obviously the material is, you're feeling very comfortable there. But it's time to transform and add a little more depth to your life. So let's move into the physical. And we have the King of Wands and the stingray is the spirit animal. The King of Wands is offering you passion, some kind of passion. And again, you're very, very pleased with the material world, but you need to have a passion, and hopefully this passion has to do with opening this emotional doorway. But you have the ability to bring this passion, bring a passion into the material world, to offer up something that creates just an incredible power, an incredible flame that others will kind of flock to. And the King of Wands is saying it isn't easy. When you play with fire, it's not that difficult to get burned. But eventually, you will find that passion and you will illuminate things for other people. You will illuminate things for yourself. And the stingray, as the spirit animal that comes forth to encourage you to work with the fire, to work with the passion. This stingray is saying this is a pivotal point. It is a pivotal point for your own personal growth. This is when you decide if you just want to remain in the old, which mentally that is not what you're being encouraged to do. You need to shed your old skin. And the stingray is saying no more being where it's easy and it's comfortable and familiar. You need to take on this new challenge, something that makes you a little uncomfortable and may seem a little unfamiliar, but the stingray is encouraging you to take that chance. And the stingray is also telling you that if you don't take that chance now, when it's coming forward, if you don't take that chance now, it's going to come up again and again and again, and it's going to keep coming up until you accept the challenge. So last but not least, we go into the spiritual, and we have the Page of Cups, and the Swan. So the spiritual area is all about creativity, how you go forward with your creativity. And I feel as though the Page of Cups is saying your creativity is based on emotion. This could be writing, this could be painting, this can be sculpturing, this can be music, beautiful music. It can be so many things that are based on the emotion. The beauty that you create comes from within. And you may just be learning that, or they're encouraging you to learn something. Perhaps this is attached to that passion. Find that spiritual power within you to ignite that passion. And that is what the spirit animal, the swan, is also all about. It is helping with this, for instance, writing, helping with creating whatever it is that you're creating with a kind of flow. It's an energy that is very patient. It's an energy that is very healing for you spiritually. So the swan is saying when you see a swan, this is your soul calling you to what you are meant to be doing at the moment. This will never stay stagnant because the swan really never stays still. But the swan is your indication, or your spirit animal, that's going to come forth when your soul is calling to you and wants to be heard. It might even be such a thing as an inner vision that you see when that swan comes forward, almost like a telepathic sending of an image of what your soul would like you to begin learning or initiating. So pile 3, you have the tiger, the butterfly, the stingray, and the swan in the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual realms. This is your directional guidance from your spirit animals in all these areas of life. So until next time, pile 3, take care.